Hello, everyone. This is Cookies. Let me see if my sound settings are okay. I think they should be okay. It's been about a month since the last turn. Kidzin went on his big trip to Japan. And now we're back. We've got our first turn since all of that stuff happened. So let's see if I remember anything. If I remember right, Hinnom had taken a lot of unfortunate kind of random attrition. I think there was a big bump. He lost a Melkart in the arena. And I think in the bump, and maybe something to do with the Indies there, he lost a Nephilim and a Melkart, another Melkart. So I'm not sure if he's going to be feeling as aggressive towards Berytos anymore. And it turns out I did hear from the Berytos player that it looks like they have agreed to an app 3. Now, Berytos doesn't know about all that. But, well, he would know about the arena, but not the other stuff. But I think that makes sense. I know the Berytos player was very afraid of Hinnom. He's starting to feel a little bit more confident, though. But Hinnom's definitely probably not feeling quite as aggressive after that attrition. Another thing was we're watching and Tianchi finish off Ulm. And I think we were trying to figure out what Helheim was going to do next. I believe they pieced out Sauromatia. And I think I had missed in an original episode, one of their elf parties got caught off in Berytos by a blood hunting province. They must have been trying to find some other way home rather than going through Lanka. Or maybe they were trying to elf Berytos, who knows. But I think they were probably just trying to get home. And then, yeah, I think that's most of it. I think all the other players were building up. Trying to clear thrones, forwarding up. So let's go ahead and jump into this. We have a lot of indie attacks. I think we've got the Throne of Misfortune going right now. Oh no. Oh no, this might be the last turn of the Throne of Gaia. But then I think we've also still got the Throne of Misfortune. And some of the Gaia events can take a while to reveal themselves. And then I'm not Tianchi and Fomoria. Okay. So we have a little bit of player action. This is in the Old Forest, though. Fomoria is trying to retake something. Tianchi maybe is vulturing. Then we have a Hinnom attack on Marverni. So maybe that's Hinnom's new direction. So let's go ahead and see what he does here. Yeah, this is a full-on raid into Marverni. All right. Then we've got Berytos cleaning up some independence. He's brought his Shamblers and his elite soldiers. It's just a Gaia event. Brought a lot of stuff. The absolute bare minimum in scripting. Okay, it loses one elite soldier. I think I would probably prefer to lose elite soldiers because he has what feels like thousands of them. Whereas the Shamblers actually have a utility for their amphibious trait. Mekone is going after Feral Woods. We've got a large force. So maybe this is a throne. Nope, just a Gaia event. Should slaughter this. Okay. Then we've got Old Forest. So let's see what Fomoria was cleaning up. He's got his mixed party. Oh, a bunch of centaurs. What an annoying event. The centaurs and satyrs have really caused me issues in previous games. Because they've always been super inconvenient. Let me mute my phone. Okay. Loses 3 fur bulk, but not a big deal. And then bumps TNG. Alright, and this is what feels like an army bump. Maybe this is TNG pivoting into invading Fomoria. We do have a few warriors of the 5 elements showing up, which implies maybe a prophet is here. Yep. And he's got increased defense skill, so he's up at 22 defense, which is pretty insane for a chariot. Oh, and then the bless, magic weapons and natural protection. Pretty nice. So that gives these guys magic weapons when they get blessed. And then what was the other part? I think it was hard skin. Yeah. And then that'll also give them, they're at 9. Oh, because they have this. So they'll be at 10 natural. So maybe 12 protection, something like that. I don't, if I did that math right. Maybe 13. All right, and then over here, we've got Fomoria. So we've got solar weapons, poison res, fire res, cold res, blur, reinvigoration, and disease resistance. So a resist blast with a small solar weapons component, and then a little bit of stats, or effective stats. So the Mercata run out in front. Easily wins the missile duel. Now, I don't think Fomoria was expecting this, so they're not doing anything to protect against attack rear. I think this is a planned bump. Let's slow it down a little. So the giants have broken through. They've shattered the Mercata, and it looks like they're going to make a push on the archers. This group is getting isolated with heavy infantry. Yeah. And then the commanders. Nope, those aren't commanders. We've got a priest. We've got a guy here, a Numidian champion. And I think that's it. So if this Numidian champion gets spooked. So I'm going to assume TNG cleans this up, and we're going to watch these guys charge the archers. This is the mercenary company for the Mercata, the captain for it. Looks like they're losing steam. The commander is isolated. Oh, this guy's lost his glamour. He's dead. They've lost leadership now. So what could have been a very good attack, just by happen chance, now their leadership is gone. So they're likely to be surrounded and killed, which is unfortunate. Oh, and right as the heavy footman routed? Wait, what? This guy's still up. The armies of Fomoria are routed. I'm not sure why all these TNG troops routed. Huh. Okay, so I think TNG is going to win this, but it's going to be a lot closer than maybe it should have been. And they all get off the field. The Prophet's going to win this. And the small band of Sacreds and Chariots. Okay. So TNG loses half, almost, no, 40% of their archers. I guess technically 42%. He had 100. So loses 42 archers, 4 heavy infantry. The mercs, well, these retreated out, so he loses the Mercata. So this is closer to 100. Medium footmen, 13 out of 32, and they routed. He probably lost a fair amount in the retreat because they're not going to have any leadership in the retreat. Fomoria, meanwhile, loses this whole party. 15 elves, 13 sacreds. This is, if he's got decent capital recruitment, that might be, my guess is 2 turns of production, maybe 2.5. So, and losing that to Scales troops, not good, but he'll be better prepared in the future. Hinnom also goes after Goodwater. Maybe this was part of the negotiations. The Turtle Tribe are moving in, so that's maybe why Berytos didn't care about the Shamblers as much. Oh my gosh. The Kalulu. I think this is their 3rd victory. Good grief. Okay. So routes the Turtle Tribe yet again. It would be interesting if Independence would like retrain troops. Helheim goes after some special monsters. 2 glamour gems. That's a lot of barbs. Horrible Visage and Shroud of Bewilderment. So leaning into Dread and I think was it Mist Form? No, I think it's Blur. I think he got Blur. I think he's got the Mist Form. He's also got his Weapons Bless. Here's a reminder on that. Also a reminder for me. Poison weapons, slowing weapons, a lot of resist, Blur, and oh, I'm forgetting what this does. Shroud of Bewilderment. Let me look it up, because otherwise it's going to bug me. Oh, okay. So it applies an effect to enemies nearby where they'll randomly attack. That's pretty cool. Strong against barbarians. Very well done. And that's with no gear. And thugged a bunch of barbarians. Pretty cool. Alright. Then goes after Ulm, storms it. We've got the Masushu, who I wonder if they could have been maybe point buffed and had everything on hold and attack, and maybe the Masushu could run in and route stuff, but we'll see how they do. Anything inside? There's a few mages here. Ballin has already gone AI though, because he had the stale where he lost his pretender, so not much else to do. We've got Howl put up. Now Howl's only going to summon wolves outside the fort. Unfortunately, they're fighting in the gate, which is good for the archers. The air elementals are clearing the wall archers, though, which is very important for this siege. So the air elementals are a great call. These magma bolts are brutal. Fear taking its toll. Routed the gate guard. Just a couple more mechanical men to get through. There we go. And Ur's done it. So loses 4 of the Masushu. Expensive, but worth it. 9 Enkidu Spear Guard and 1 Enkidu Soldier. Alright, he has a shiny new capital. Then we've got a Long Dead going after Helheim. After a Hang-a-Draught, no less. Wins the individual 1v1, but loses to the mass skeleton summoning. And then we've got a bunch of indie attacks. So we've got Lanka getting hit in Night Marsh. Lizard Warriors might be able to defend this. I think they will. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even see the Palankasha either. Okay. Then in Norville, got some barbs. Going after PD. They should be able to clear that. We'll have to see how inconvenient that is for TNG. In Pergamy, going after Helheim. Oh, we do have some unscripted sacreds. Who get bailed out by the PD a bit. And they do manage to hold without, I think, losing any. Right. Then we've got the Silver Wall. More barbarians. Doing Lanka in. Alright. Another one with Helheim. Ooh, okay. Kills a scout. I hope that was just a recruited scout and not a scout building a fort. And in Fever Fens, got a bunch of barbarians. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at the map. So we've got 2 big stacks of troops. He's finished his war. Oh, was all this here? Oh, so Fomoria initiated this. Because TNG was going after this fort. Interesting. Now, Fomoria is actually recovered quite nicely. Has a fair number of summons, a couple of Fomorian kings. But I still think they would want help fighting TNG. Maybe there's some help to be had in You know, might want, a fair amount of this. Then Fomoria could try to get the rest. That could be something that they're maybe thinking about. Maybe might be salty about the vulturing. For Mekone, it does look like he's building up to take this throne, potentially. But I think Lanka's going to get there first. We have another very large Lankan force like going back for World Pillar. I'm not sure if he considered that an attack by Hinnom. He might be thinking about invading Hinnom, but Hinnom's already attacking Marverni. Here, cutting this province off. There's a druid here. Probably just built a lab here, is my guess, or maybe site searched. I think Marverni's in trouble. I think they're having problems affording troops. Now, if it's just Hinnom, like, they can kill this. They've got their pretenders. Their pretenders can probably kill this. This stuff was heading over here for this throne, but it might veer away now, which would leave it for Berytos to potentially get. Although I don't think Berytos wants to get it because he'd have to go through this swamp. So it might just stay independent for a bit as players get busy around it. Sauromatia is recovering. Has a bunch of shrimp soldiers. Which are, okay, yeah, they're not a merc company, I know. I guess an event then? Ur's the only one with mercs right now. A lot of them are just not worth bidding on. No one's gonna bid on 40 gold for just a Mercata commander, probably, except to use them as an expendable scout. These swordsmen should probably get cleared out. They're definitely not worth 225 gold, which is the price you see at the bottom of the screen that normal nations would pay. And then the rest are underwater mercs, and I don't see anyone ever hiring the Triton troopers. So we'll see how that goes. I think Xibalba's in a tough spot, but they are building up. They've got a lot of stuff. So we'll see what they end up doing. They have, I think, two options. They can attack Mekone or they can attack Lanka, which is a little bit unfortunate with how cave nations work. If they opt to attack Lanka, I do think they make a natural ally for Helheim. If they opt to attack Mekone, I think that's a little awkward leaving all that Lanka stuff at your back. I think they have one best choice, which is Lanka. And I do think, you know, when you're talking to other players around there, I think Helheim should be receptive, because you could potentially try to split Lanka, and Helheim could potentially handle a distracted Lanka in Sauromatia. It's possible. Helheim could also talk to Mekone. Maybe Mekone would be interested in attacking Sauromatia. But then that kind of leaves unchecked. And they're a little bit awkward for almost everyone to invade. I think if anyone, like, you got a whole bunch of wastelands across here. I have a hard time telling if my spies just didn't spawn here. But I feel like the spies should reveal these areas. So maybe they just don't exist. But yeah, this is another somewhat narrow check. I could see Mekone maybe wanting this, but not wanting, or maybe this, but not wanting this. So they'd want a coalition partner, so maybe Mekone and Berytos could do something. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of players with a lot of small borders, which makes going to war a little bit trickier because you don't have a lot of mobility. And a lot of these lakes are kind of what's causing it. They're somewhat evenly spaced, and between them and thrones, they just kind of muck up the geography a bit. But yeah, we're starting to get hints of some new action, which is good because Ulm just died. So I mean, aside from that last fort. So we've got Hinnom and Marverni, potentially. I think potentially Lanka and Hinnom. And hopefully some other stuff starts up. I think if a couple of nations get going in another war, because we're on turn 26. It is so late to be starting first wars, at least in my opinion. I like to be wrapping up my first war by about turn 30, if I can help it. Now, different lobbies have different metas. I know a lot of lobbies play a little bit slower, so a lot of first wars will only start around turn 26 when people have some forts and they feel like they can safely send stuff out to fight. But I'm more in like the Ballin Distant Horizon camp. I like to do essentially what Distant Horizon's doing right now and try to be wrapping up my first war. So interesting, but looking forward to it. I think some of the delays could be from all the indie attacks going around. So, for instance, this was here. So, I don't know, maybe he was trying to fort this or something. He's got another indie attack here. So, a lot of people are playing whack-a-mole on indies. And when the events calm down, I think we'll start seeing some action. Oh yeah, and then we've got TNG and Fomoria, which I think right now is TNG favored. TNG's got 1, 2, 3 forts. Fourth one coming up. He's got a lab here for these mages. Gosh, what a province. 4, 5. Spreads curses and reveals mundane score graphs. Interesting. So TNG's got graphs and steel ovens. Although the steel ovens apparently doesn't do anything with Throne of the Artificer. The bonuses don't stack, which I think is incredibly lame. I think if you're going to rely on this much RNG in the game, you should just let the bonuses stack sometimes for some truly wonky combinations. Wow, this is quite the province too. Goodness. But yeah, I do think this is TNG favored right now. Their Pretender's really scary. They just won this engagement down here, although they had a lot of retreating troops. Maybe 50, and they're going to have to spread out these commanders to go get them. So, I mean, the AI could do some stuff here, potentially. We've got few troops here. I think this is interesting. What's going on here? Fertility cult. Okay, got to patrol that out or you'll lose it. We got three bands of barbarians running around in the north that TNG's got to take care of. Very much a threat to his throne. Both of these bands could roam into it and destroy this fort under construction. He's got 15 PD here, but I think he might need more. Extremely risky. The Fomoria's also got 2 forts up. So now magic weapons into a lot of the mist form tech that Fomoria wants to do is pretty good, but mist form's still valuable against the normal troops. And then you've got elves. Elves are pretty good. I'm not sure what Fomoria does about the cat. unless he's broken up some construction and can maybe gear a Fomorian king to kill the cat. We'll have to see about that, but this is a potential war I'm very interested in. Let's see, we see a big Sauromatian force here. What is going on here? Death 3 and Misfortune 5? It's not from the throne. That's the magic scales. Oh, is this from Marverni Dominion? Okay. Misfortune 5 is crazy, though. There's got to be a site here. In Death 3. Well, Death 3 could be Marverni. It could just be Marverni to me, but there's extra Misfortune, which has me curious. The biggest tease in the game, Tower of the Devil's Bride. I mean, the imps are really nice, but whenever you see a blood site pop up, you think maybe you got a discount site, and then you're disappointed. Arena, yeah. He's pulled three of them. Brigand Lair, but I don't see any blood discount sites. Okay, well, I think that's it for this one. Right around 30 minutes. Hopefully I gave a pretty thorough coverage. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.